Sure.
I'm joined now by Joel Rubin. He's the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State under John Kerry, where he helped work with the House on the Iran nuclear deal. He's also president of Washington Strategy Group. Joel, thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Katie.
Looking at the protests in Iran and looking at the president's response, he's taking the side of the protesters. Lindsey Graham wants to see him do more, wants to see him lay out a plan, certainly wants to see him decertify the Iran deal. Where do you think our government should go? What's your opinion?
Well, Katie, this is test time for Donald Trump, and it's going to be a wild ride. Right now, we need real diplomacy to shape the events inside and outside of Iran, and it's doubtful that we have a diplomatic approach right now underway that's being executed. Certainly, the tweets are not going to help lead us in that direction. So there are significant gaps between the rhetoric and the reality, and what the president is advocating is not going to match what his team seems to be capable of delivering right now, and that's a deep concern.
You were part of the Iran deal. Part of the consequences of that were to help alleviate some economic anxiety in Iran in exchange for not developing nuclear weapons. That economic anxiety has not been alleviated. The money that Iran got, the ability to sell their oil, the ability to deal in world global financial markets has not trickled down to the people. Are you surprised by that?
That's right. These are the most significant and widespread protests in Iran since 1979, surpassing 2009 Green Revolution protests.
And you think they're more significant than 2009?
Yes, they're broader, they're deeper, they're not focused necessarily on one political leader or one core grievance of a stolen election in 2009, and they're speaking deeper to the economic revolt, the economic discontent that the Iranian people feel. As well, there's a significant argument about Iranian expansion in the region and spending too much money in the billions of dollars on Iranian behavior in Syria, in Iraq, towards the Palestinians. There are a lot of grievances coming out, and it's putting significant pressure on the Rouhani government. But I think it's really important to disentangle this from the nuclear deal. The nuclear deal was an American national security objective to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, and it succeeded in that. This grievance is not about the nuclear deal being bad. The people of Iran supported the nuclear deal. They're not complaining about that. What they're complaining about is the fact that their government is not delivering for them economically, socially, and is doing things in the region that they're clearly seeing as hurting their ability at home to have a strong economy. And we'll see opponents of the nuclear deal, however, try to leverage this moment to argue, aha, there's no need for a nuclear deal anymore because the Iranian people are protesting, and that would be highly counterproductive. One of the best things that this president could frankly do would be to end the Muslim ban, the travel ban, and to show the Iranian people that he really does care about what they're calling for.
The president also is talking about Pakistan this morning. He tweeted about that country, yes, saying the U.S. has foolishly given Pakistan more than $33 billion in aid over the last 15 years, and they have given us nothing but lies and deceit, thinking of our leaders as fools. They give safe haven to the terrorists we hunt in Afghanistan with little help. No more. This tweet seemed to come out of the blue, but there possibly could have been a connection with the New York Times reporting that a freed American and her family in Pakistan. Joel, how do you interpret the president going after that country, and what's that going to mean for our foreign policy?
Well, I think that oftentimes these tweets come in a vacuum of a policy that one can clearly understand and identify. It is understood in Washington, bipartisan understanding that there are issues with Pakistan and its participation in supporting our efforts to root out terrorism and extremist groups that we are concerned about. And there's concern at the Pentagon, the State Department, in Congress. That is accurate. But to threaten the Pakistanis who, as a country, have taken significant blows from terrorist organizations as well, and to do this without briefing Congress, without coming out with a plan that clarifies what we're trying to achieve with Pakistan, and just take these shots, it really undermines our ability diplomatically to get what we want. And I think we see that with Iran. We're seeing that with North Korea. We did last year. Odds are that the North Korean leaders' speech about how they're going to accelerate their nuclear program will not be met well. But the tweets are not a policy, and if they're not part of an executable strategy, it's very concerning about how we're going to, in the Pakistan instance, turn the government around. All it does is push them further away from what we're trying to achieve.
Joel, I realize we're jumping around from country to country here, but we also have to talk about North Korea. We have Kim Jong-un saying he's got a nuclear weapon button on his desk. At the same time, he's telling the South Koreans that he wants to participate, his country wants to participate in the Olympics. Could potentially be an effort to get Asia to split with Donald Trump, distance itself from America. How does the White House thread this needle?
Well, Katie, to first and foremost is pull back on the threatening rhetoric, not allow the president to declare that he will lay waste to North Korea. That is not the way to approach this. And we should have direct dialogue with North Korea. We should be engaging more aggressively to figure out what their parameters are. This sort of public speech versus speech to telegraph that one side can nuke the other and the other can nuke the first one is not getting us anywhere safe. And 2018 is certainly going to be a significant year on North Korea. 2017 was really just the appetizer.
Joel, what does the world think when they see the president, when he's asked about North Korea, just say, we'll see, we'll see? How's that interpreted?
Well, it's uncertainty in diplomatic situations. It can lead to miscalculation. And the one axiom that we can count on in international affairs is that things happen, and they happen beyond one's control. And so in all these instances, in Iran with protests, North Korea, the leader, articulating his plans, really one has to be clear in how it reacts. And when you say we'll see, that's not clear. That doesn't give leadership. That doesn't give guidance. It doesn't tell our allies in the region on what we need from them to help protect ourselves.
Joel Rubin, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State. Joel, thank you so much. Happy New Year.
My pleasure. Thanks, Katie.